Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And he's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. And what does that mean? It means I try fucking cases. I win cases. Do we lose sometimes? Sometimes we do. But most of the time, probably 70% of the time, 80% of the time, I win. And but here's the thing. I love what I do. I love criminal law, and I do love this genre that we've created here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts, thanks to our esteemed producer and creator, Michael Rivers. And last year law student, by the way, I might add. So shout out to Michael, and shout out to Jaylap for our theme song. I haven't given him a shout out in quite some time. So today we're reacting to the beef. The beef goes on. The beef between NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk. Now let's just kind of back up a little bit. If you remember, King Von was killed ostensibly by somebody by the name of Lil Tim. Lil Durk is kind of on King Von's crew, and Lil Tim is part of the NBA YoungBoy. They've gotten, and King Von was killed, and Lil Tim is on the hook for that. He's got charges pending in Atlanta. But here's the deal. The beef goes on, right? There's a beef going on between Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy. Now, if you recall, NBA YoungBoy took off to California while he had charges pending, and then all of a sudden he got picked up, and then he got taken into custody, blah, blah, blah. And now he's making rap videos out of his home in Utah. He's kind of, they made a motion to put him out in a secluded area where he's got a curfew and a limit to who can have access to him, but he's got full access to media. And he puts out these disses on these songs, none of them are happy and sunshine. They're just murderous diss tracks. And it's sort of like the beef going back years and years ago between Biggie Smalls and Tupac. It was the East Coast, West Coast. So we have NBA YoungBoy, 4KT or 4K Trey, and Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And then we have Lil Durk, OTF, O Block, Chicago, Illinois. And if you remember, there was a hit on FBG Duck. And, there's word that people are moving guns up to Chicago, and Lil Durk is part of that scene, but there's a big beef going on between NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk, and it's in one of his last songs, NBA YoungBoy put out a diss about King Von, and so now we have this going back and forth, and they're using social media to do this, which if you're on supervised release, now if you look at here in $100 bills. NBA YoungBoy posted, you, and I'm going to just say the word fellas, because that's what I use, you fellas gonna die. I mean, okay. I don't know how much of this shit I'd put up with if I was the judge. I don't know how much the judge knows about it, to be honest with you. But we know about it, right? So then Lil Durk puts out, hurry y'all bitch ass up. And he says, we colorblind, but we still see red. And NBA YoungBoy's new album is Colors, right? Now, here's the thing. When you're on supervised release, you're watched by probation pretty closely. And I would assume that they're watching this stuff really closely. And you can expect, if there's a hint of anything going on, that NBA YoungBoy is going to be taken into custody, back in Baton Rouge. So what is going on? Well, SWAT just raided NBA YoungBoy's mother's house in Texas. NBA YoungBoy owned the house, I believe, and his mother lived there. But police say a man was found The men have been arrested after SWAT raided a Houston home belonging to NBA Youngboy. And then several of these guys were taken into custody in retaliation to a November 21 shooting, according to Harris County Sheriff's Office. Police say a man was found shot multiple times on November 10th. Officials say the victim survived but faces permanent and life-threatening injuries. So there's a shooting related to NBA Youngboy, but clearly he didn't have anything to do with it because he wasn't around then. So SWAT raided Youngboy's house, and it comes right after he released this mixtape. And he's been on house arrest, so he wasn't anywhere near there, thank God, for him. But they got all kinds of guns, and like people are loaded for war. So let's just kind of rewind this a little bit. You've got people hanging out at a home owned by NBA Youngboy, and there's all kinds of guns there. You've got the diss tracks going on. You've got the threats on Instagram, on social media. It can only spell one thing, and that one thing is that there's going to be a problem down the road. This isn't just, I'm a rapper and this is my rap persona. This is the art is imitating life, not the other way around. And you look at the faces of these guys, these are really young guys. And NBA Youngboy is a young guy. And he's making all kinds of money, and great. But at what expense? And it's short money as I see it, because it is just furthering this murderous diss. Pop, pop, pop. I'm an investigation, by the DOJ. And with each little thing, the SWAT, the this, the that, guess what they're doing all over the country, DOJ is? They're building these RICO cases on these guys. And they're using illegal drugs, illegal cash, money, or not money, but weapons, and the shipping of weapons, and the murders, and the assaults, and all these different things. They're lumping it all into a RICO case. And a RICO case is what they used to use to prosecute the mob. Now, NBA Youngboy's not being prosecuted for a homicide. Now, people seem to forget that Lil Durk is still under investigation in Fulton County. He's looking at criminal attempt to commit murder, aggravated assault, participate in a criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. So while these disses are going on between these guys, Lil Durk is facing charges. NBA Youngboy, while he's not facing, he's probably looking at a 5-year mandatory minimum, maybe consecutive to something else. I don't know, but he's under the watchful eye of the federal government. I wouldn't be surprised if Lil Durk's case all of a sudden was picked up by the feds. And so while this stuff is going on, the war is getting hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. So this has been our little bit of an update here about the beef going on between these guys. But, NBA Youngboy's mother was living in this house, evidently. But in this house, they arrested several guys and took a shit ton of guns. Now, if NBA Youngboy has got anything to do with that, they can get him on conspiracy to possess. And then he's even in more trouble. It just seems to me that there's got to be some end to this, and it's not going to be a good one for any of these guys. And I'd rather see them make music and enjoy a long, happy life than see them murder each other. But this is what we have right now. Here's the thing. When you have these two guys beefing like this, who's going to talk to them? Because they're both making bank. They're making bank off this. It's like a soap opera. However, the real life implications of it are deadly, and they're deadly for a lot of people, not just the two of them. You got bystanders, you got little kids, and you got little kids who want to be gangbangers, little 10, 12, 13-year-old kids. We've talked on this channel many times about some of the young guys like L.A. Capone and, people just, getting shot down in their youth. I mean, they're not, these guys are still fucking young. They're still young. I think, what is NBA YoungBoy, like 22 or something like that? I don't know how old Lil Durk is, but they certainly aren't. They're not in their 30s. And if they ever hope to make it in their 30s, they got to cut this fucking shit out. Maybe start singing about, I don't know, trucks or something. Fuck, I don't know. I'm being a little facetious because they're doing what sells, right? But deep down inside, they are still, they're bangers. I mean, look what NBA YoungBoy was doing when he got picked up. I mean, it wasn't like he was filming a video. I mean, when he got picked up, he was running from the cops and he had a gun on him. So, and I suspect the threat of prison isn't going to keep him from possessing another firearm down the road. I mean, it certainly didn't keep him from keeping people in his house. And he's going to have plenty of people around him who's sucking him back into that lifestyle. So this is just a little update on NBA YoungBoy and Lil Durk and the beef between them going on and on and on. And if there's a way to get it solved, give me some comments. We'd love to hear from you guys about how you think we should solve the gang problem between these guys and between any guys, really. The only way to solve it is through love, through building a future. Because guess what? Not everybody is carrying large fucking stacks of cash, right? I mean, some of these young guys who live in these neighborhoods, that are hangers-on, they're not walking around with large amounts of cash. They need to build. So that's just my 2 cents for today. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This has been another episode of CLR, Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, and brought to you by the estimable Michael Rivers. He's our producer, our creator, and all-around great guy, and last-year law student. I might tell you that, too. He's going to be a hell of a lawyer. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter. We'll see you next time.